Hey guys, I'm switching gears a little bit in this video and I'm going to talk about my fitness story and kind of where I came from and where I am now. So let's go all the way back to childhood. So I was a chubby child. I've basically been overweight my entire life. And it wasn't until middle school that it really became kind of an apparent difference between me and the other kids. And I remember we were running laps inside the gym in PE when I was in middle school. And this boy called me fat ass on his way by. And we were like 12 at this point. And I remember it being like extremely ironic because this kid himself, looked different from everyone else too. He had been born with one leg that was quite a bit shorter than the other, so he had kind of specially made shoes that would give him a lift on the shorter leg, and he had kind of a craniofacial malformation, and not to say that not to speak illy of his physique, but I just thought it was ironic that this kid, who was also different looking from everyone else, was the one calling me fat ass while we were running. And so that has kind of stuck with me throughout my life. And then when I got into high school, it just got worse and worse, and I went to a residential science and math high school, so I actually lived away from home starting at the age of 16, and so I was under close supervision, at the school, but I, for the first time, was living away from my parents, and if I wanted to go buy a bunch of junk food, I could, and I did, and so food has always been a big problem for me. I've always had a huge sweet tooth. Love carbs, love pasta, love beer, love ice cream, love all sweets, And so food has always been a problem for me. And when I was at that science and math high school, I was on the swim team and the dance team. So at least I did stay somewhat physically active, which probably helped me not gain as much weight as I would have otherwise. And then I went to college, and it was kind of the same thing. I don't know that I really went through a freshman 15, because for me, like, living away from my parents wasn't a new thing since I had done it for the previous 2 years of high school. But it was the same thing where I would go to the dining hall. They had their ice cream set up every day, and so I ate ice cream a lot. I ate dessert. I ate a ton of dessert while I was in college. I didn't eat a ton of vegetables. I just really didn't eat very well throughout those 4 years of college. And during college, I was on the synchronized swimming team, and that was a year-round thing. So again, I was able to stay physically active, which was obviously a really good thing. And then when I got to the summer between my junior and senior year of college, I think, my PCP, my primary care doctor, was like, you have to lose some weight. I was 210 pounds at the time, and he was like, you're setting yourself up for all these health issues. So he prescribed Adipex to me, which is phentermine, which is an amphetamine derivative, and it suppresses your appetite, boosts your metabolism. And so that, along with strict calorie counting, I was about 1,200 calories a day, and daily exercise. Over the next year or so, I lost about 60 pounds. I was on and off the Adipex, and while the Adipex is extremely effective while you're on it, it is not effective when you stop taking it. And so it's really nice because it gives you kind of that jump start, so you can start seeing results. But I found that when I stopped taking it, then I kind of plateau and even go up a little bit in the weight. So I'm not sure that I would, highly recommend it to people, but I did that. And so I went to optometry school feeling good. I had lost 60 pounds and things were good. And then I wasn't on any sports teams. I was studying, more than I'd ever studied in my life. And I just wasn't getting that much physical activity. I did walk to school every day, but it was really close, so that barely counts. And throughout my time in optometry school, the weight just crept back on until I had basically gained back almost all the weight that I had lost. So that 60 pounds that I had lost, almost all of it was back within 3 years of optometry. Again, I wasn't eating well. I don't like to cook, so I'm not good at like preparing healthy foods for myself and everything. So sometime in optometry school, I saw a Nutrisystem commercial, and not that that was anything new, it's been around forever, but I was like, I'm gonna give Nutrisystem a try since food is kind of my weakness and this is taking care of the food for you. It's like, I'll give it a try. So the Nutrisystem food is not good. I don't think it tastes good, and it's not enough. So I know for some of the things you're supposed to like prepare other foods to go with it, but then kind of like what's the point? Because you paid all this money for like them to take care of all your food, and then now you're supposed to make more food to go with this food, and I don't know. So I was too lazy to do that, so I was just relying on just the Nutrisystem food, and most of it was not good. And so then it was just kind of accumulating in my apartment, and I wasn't eating it, and so now I was wasting money and I wasn't getting any results, and so that was kind of a failure. So I canceled Nutrisystem, and then probably a year, maybe 2 years later, then my fiance and I went on Weight Watchers. So, we counted our points, and we didn't go to any meetings or anything. We were just doing it through the app on our phones. And I guess I like counting points better than I like counting calories. So when you're counting calories, like through MyFitnessPal and that kind of thing, it will usually allow you to exercise to give yourself more calories. So if you say that your daily goal is 1,200 calories and you eat 1,500 calories but you exercise 300, it's still going to count it as a net of 1,200 calories. And I'm not sure that's necessarily a good thing. And then the counting the points kind of did the same thing, where you could give yourself extra points with exercise. And I find that when you're trying to count stuff, then you end up kind of underestimating things sometimes. You're like, yeah, that was probably a tablespoon, and it was like a cup, I'm exaggerating, but you tend to underestimate kind of what you're eating. And then we would end up cheating with our kind of bonus points and stuff, and so that was kind of a bust. And when I was in optometry school, I also tried to take up running, and I don't actually like to run, so I didn't really enjoy it. And even though I was getting better at it, and it made me feel like superior, because for some reason I feel like runners are superior in some way, and so I made me feel kind of good about myself, but also I hate running. And also it didn't help me lose weight at all. And so that was kind of another thing that I felt like I was just wasting my time, and another thing that wasn't helping me to do anything. So I got into my last year of optometry school, and this is when we're doing our rotation. There's a girl that I was friends with kind of peripherally, and she had always been posting about, joining this free group or that free group, and I never really paid attention. And then I don't know what it was about this particular one, but it was a 10-day no sugar added challenge. And I was like, that sounds hard, but I want to try it. And so I was like, yes, I want to try this, add me to this group. So we did this 10-day no sugar added challenge, and she asked me if I would be interested in participating in a month-long. And at this point, I had barely heard of Shakeology. I had never heard of 21 Day Fix. I didn't know what Beachbody was. And then, it turns out that it's the company who had put out T25 and P90X. And so I had heard of those programs, but I didn't know that they were under Beachbody. I didn't know any of that. So I was skeptical because I'd never heard of it, and I wasn't sure it was going to work because all of these other things that I had tried had failed in the past. So my coach, Danielle, was really awesome and patient with me, and she kind of explained how everything would work, and she explained that there was a money-back guarantee, so if it didn't work for me and I really didn't like it, that I could get my money back, and that made me feel better about the whole thing. And so even though I was skeptical and I was hesitant and I was kind of guarded in my expectations and I wasn't extremely hopeful, I decided to give it a try. Since I had enjoyed that 10-day group, then I decided to give this longer one a try. So I ordered my 21 Day Fix and my Shakeology, and I went through my first challenge group and I loved it. So I loved checking into the group every day and seeing what everyone else was doing, seeing what they were struggling with, and kind of finding common ground and helping build each other up and sharing tips and recipes. And I just loved the culture that was in this group. And so after I had gone through that group, my coach messaged me and she was like, hey, you're really awesome at kind of encouraging other people. Why don't you try coaching, And so I was like, no, I can't do that. Like, I'm a full-time student and I don't know anything about fitness or nutrition, and I don't know any of that. But she convinced me to just give it a try because there was nothing to lose. And so I decided to give it a try, and I really haven't looked back since then. So now I'm kind of taking my journey and sharing it with other people in the hopes that they're inspired to do the same thing. So that's how my fitness journey has come to the point where I am now. Using the Beachbody programs, I went through 21 Day Fix several times, 21 Day Fix Extreme several times. I did size a little bit, but I didn't really love it, so I didn't stick with that one. And then I did hammer and chisel from start to finish. And so I was able to build up a lot of muscle and really slim down, not like skinny, but I was slimmer. And I was doing really, really well until probably about February. And I started traveling for my residency interviews, and that really kind of messed me up with my schedule. And then I got sick, and then it was almost graduation. And then after graduation, we went on a cruise and we ate a ton of food. And then after that, we spent like a couple weeks at my fiance's house, and where we didn't exercise and we were eating crap. And anyway, so that was really, we're just talking about a couple months in that time frame, but all the weight that I had lost from last summer to about February, I had made all this progress and I was doing so well, and then I messed it up and I gained back a ton of weight, and my dress pants didn't fit anymore. For the first month of my residency, I only wore dresses because I didn't have any dress pants that fit. And so now I'm happy to say I am back in my dress pants. So I am making progress again. And in the past, when I have kind of backslid, I've really beaten myself up over it, and then kind of had this attitude of, well, what the hell, I've already taken this many steps back, so what's another few, going further and further in the wrong direction. But this time I was a lot more forgiving towards myself. So I kind of said, you know, this happened and you're gonna make it better. So it's okay. Move on. You've done it before. You can do it again. It's fine. So with that kind of mindset shift, I've done a lot better than I think I would have done in the past. And so since I started up again about a month ago, then I'm down about 5 pounds. I'm back in dress pants. And so I'm going in the right direction. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more like it. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.